Hello and welcome back to another podcast and video from Fantasy Football Scout on Euro 2024. My name is Ed, your host. You can follow me on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, @_FantasyEd. Today we're going to be doing a Matchday 3 preview. There's not long to go until that kicks off tonight with, what games is it? Scotland, Hungary and Switzerland, Germany, both at 8 o'clock. That's when the deadline is. But also we're just going to go through and comment about each fixture, where the rotation's likely to be, where the resting of players is likely to be, who we can back, who to avoid, everything like that. So let's get going on the Matchday 3 preview. Before we get into the video, just going to start by telling you about an amazing offer we've got at Fantasy Football Scout at the moment to get your Euro 2024 fantasy data and your FPL for data for 24-25 all sorted with an FF Scout premium membership. It's 40% off at the moment. So for 39 quid, you can get everything you need to be a top fantasy manager from Fantasy Football Scout's members area for both the Euros and FPL. You can see, if you're watching on YouTube, on the screen there, the graphic, but let me read out some of the benefits. So you get full player and team Opta data for Euro 2024 at the moment, including the qualifiers and the friendlies, including XG and all those stats that you want to know about. Expert team reveals and strategy, exclusive data analysis articles, updated team lineups and set piece takers, sortable fixture difficulty tickers, £500 cash prize for anyone in the premium mini league for the Euros. So if you've started really well, you want to join us and get in that league, then please do. And saving 40% on all this, plus much more for the Euros and FPL 2024-2025 season. So get it all sorted for 40% off. Lock that in. Get onto the site. If you've never been on Fantasy Football Scout's website, the link will be below, but you can Google it as well and find yourself there. There's loads of free stuff, but when you become a free premium member, there's loads of extra team reveals, loads of extra data that is only for those members. So in fact, if you're watching on YouTube, here's the sort of table that you can get in the members area. It's you can sort your strikers by big chances created, big chances total, goal attempts, big chances missed. Romelu Lukaku is currently top of that table, as you can see. Shots inside the box, XG, expected goals, all that sort of stuff. You can customize the tables. You can do it however you want, so that you don't just have to listen to experts. You can be an expert yourself. So do go to fantasyfootballscout.co.uk and lock that in. It is a limited time offer, so that's probably going to end 1st of July. So make sure you get that nailed in and get your Euros sorted and your FPL season next season sorted. We'd love to have you, so do check it out. Yeah, so before we get started, please do like and subscribe to the channel. If you play fantasy football and you play in the Euros and you play FPL and you play all these other versions, we've got loads and loads of content that always comes out on this Fantasy Football Scout YouTube channel. So make sure you like it. If you're listening on podcast as well, please do subscribe to the podcast, leave a 5-star review, all the sorts of things that would make us happy, and smash the like button on YouTube. For some reason, on YouTube, you've always got to smash it and you can't just press it. So smash that like button. Now, what I thought we'd do is, just as the Matchday 3 deadline's approaching at 8 o'clock tonight, I thought, why not do a Matchday 3 preview? Let's just go through each fixture and talk about what we need to know, if anything, right? Who's going to be rotating? Who is going to be resting players? Who's not going to be resting players? Because we've got through all the Matchday 2 fixtures now, so we know the position that each team is in as we head towards Matchday 3. And particularly given that a lot of people are going to be playing their Limitless in this match day. If you're not, then fine. This is all still going to be relevant. But if you are, then that's particularly relevant to know who's going to be being rested, which teams are already through, and therefore they can sort of play their second team and things like that. And who should we be avoiding? Which teams should we be avoiding? So let's start with tonight. So tonight for me, anyway. So we've got 2 games happening at the same time. Remember that this is how it works now. It's gone from being 3 games a day, and it's gone to each group all finishing at the same time. So on Sunday, we've got 2 games at 8 o'clock. On Monday, we've got 2 games at 8 o'clock. On Tuesday, we've then got a group finishing at 5 o'clock with 2 games. And then a group finishing at 8 o'clock, England's group, with 2 games at the same time. And then the same on Wednesday. So two games at 5 and 2 games at 8. So loads and loads of football coming up over the next few days. But first of all, let's talk about Scotland-Hungary. Is this a game we should be looking to get a player from? If you're playing, a chip, or even if you're not playing a chip. Now, it's an interesting one because both teams need to win in this game to go through. Hungary have lost their first 2 games. They're on 0 points. Scotland have got 1 point. If Scotland beat Hungary, they're going to go through. If Hungary beat Scotland, they could go through. I think that's roughly what it is, because it's quite hard to work it out, but quite a few third place teams are going to go through still to the knockouts. So unless you finish 4th or you're one of the bad thirds in terms of points and goal difference and everything, you're not gonna you're still gonna go through if you're not one of those. So Scotland, Hungary, is it somewhere where we should be targeting? Well, interestingly, I'm on a limitless, and I want to, with a limitless, you want to make sure you're picking players who are definitely going to play, right? And this is where the trickiness and this is why match day 3 is quite hard to predict. But Scotland and Hungary is a game where you know they're both going to play their strongest team. So, Szoboszlai will play for Hungary. McTominay will play for Scotland. And it's interesting, isn't he? Those of you who've watched my other videos know that I was flirting with having McTominay in my team for ages. And then I was glad I didn't have him after match day 1, of course, where they got battered and he didn't score. But then match day 2, he actually did score, didn't he? And he had such a good qualifying as well. So McTominay is in my thoughts for this game. I want to support Scotland tonight. I'm English, but English fans generally support the other nations. I know they don't support us, but hey ho. I want Scotland to go through. I think it'll be great, and I think McTominay is a real option to put in my team. He's only 6.5 million, although that's irrelevant because I'm playing limitless. So there you go. There's a couple of players from this fixture that I think, you know what, you can put them in, and they're safe picks. They're gonna play. Szoboszlai for Hungary, he can always do something. He's on penalties. McTominay for Scotland. He's their main goal scorer. He was in qualifiers anyway. So there you go. Scotland, Hungary, 8 o'clock tonight. Now, the interesting thing about this is, I'm saying this, we're going to see these teams anyway. So Scotland, Hungary at 8 o'clock and Switzerland, Germany. Both of those games, we're going to see the teams' lineups at 7 o'clock, 6:45. So we'll have an hour till the deadline to bring in the players who are playing. I'm going to keep a keen eye on that because I will probably bring in a player from the Scotland-Hungary game. Don't know which one yet. Once I see the lineups. So I think it's a game you can back because both teams have got to go for it and they've got to win. So could there be drama? Could there be goals? I hope so. The next game tonight as well at 8 o'clock, we're going to see the team again. Apologies if you can hear my dog barking in the background. I don't know what she's barking at. But anyway, Switzerland, Germany. So is this a game we can back? Well, Germany have looked absolutely brilliant, haven't they? They are probably going to rotate, you would think. They've won their first 2 games convincingly. They are already through as top of the group. Are we going to see players like Sane starting? Full Krug up front maybe instead of Havertz? Well, it doesn't matter. We don't need to guess because we will see these teams. So I will be picking probably 2, maybe 3 Germany players tonight against Switzerland. I suppose the question becomes, well, if they're going to rotate, all 11 or something and rest everyone, then does that make them weaker? And Switzerland are going to need to get a result. So if Switzerland go for it, might it be a fool's errand backing Germany when Switzerland are going to go for it and need to win and Germany are weaker? I don't know. That's up for you up to each person to decide. But there you go. Germany, we're going to see the teams, and with my limitless, I'll definitely get at least 2, maybe 3. I think Sane is the one I'm keeping my eye on. And if he starts, we know how good Sane is. He's only just doesn't make the first team anyway. But if he gets a start, he's going to be an interesting one to watch. So that's Sunday, the 23rd of June. Let's move on to Monday. Now, bear in mind that we're going to want a captain from every day, aren't we? Because we're gonna get one in that first game, Scotland, Hungary, and Switzerland, Germany. I will have at least one of those players, so I'll have a captain. This second day, though, is really tricky because it actually has probably the tastiest fixture on paper, which is Spain versus Albania. However, because Spain have looked great, haven't they? Albania have looked better than a lot of people predicted. They've scored in both games. When people suggested Croatia or Italy might have kept a clean sheet, they haven't, and Albania have scored. But Spain have looked brilliant, right? They're probably the team that most people are talking about in the tournament. But they've won their first two games. They're through as group winners. Are they going to rotate? And we're not going to see these teams. So it is very, very tricky. Is someone like David Raya going to come in goal for them? I don't even know who else might come in, but there's options there that could come in, and it's going to completely, you don't want to be picking players who don't play. So can we go, if we knew the teams, you'd go triple up on Spain in this game, wouldn't you? You just would. Because we don't, it's just such a huge risk. So what do? Do you avoid the game? And if you avoid the game, then you're still going to need a captaincy in this day. And the other game at 8 o'clock on the Monday is Croatia versus Italy. Now, Croatia versus Italy is probably one that you can more safely pick from because Croatia need to win. They've only got 1 point, I think. Yeah, I think it's 1 point. Italy want a result. They're still not kind of, they can't just sit back or anything and not be bothered. So it's one of those where you think, I'm not sure where to kind of go here. There's rumours that DiMarco, by the way, for Italy is injured. He's done his calf, and Calafiori might go to the left back. there's all these sorts of rumours and all these sorts of things going on, and you've got to kind of see through the rumours and see read between the lines of these press statements and managerial interviews and everything. I don't know. I think I might get a Croatia player. I know Croatia have been pretty poor, but I know they're going to play their first team. And who knows, against Italy, it's the final day. Maybe Croatia will suddenly turn it on. And I think I'll get maybe one Spanish player and have a think who might not get rested, Will Lamine Yamal play or something like that? I don't know. But that's something we just need to be aware of because it is very, very tricky to call. Now, that is the Sunday games. That is the Monday games. Remember, you've got to have a captaincy, so you've got to pick someone from the Monday. I don't know who yet. But these are the issues that we need to be thinking about. Let's take a quick break and we'll come back and do the rest of the fixtures. Welcome back. Yeah, so I just thought I'd bring up, actually, from the BBC Sport website, the matches, the groups, to see the order. So for those of you on audio podcast, that Group A, those two games tonight, Scotland, Hungary, and Germany, Switzerland. You can see there that the group, Germany at the top with 6 points, they're through. Switzerland on 4 points, Scotland on 1, and Hungary on 0. So Scotland are playing Hungary. So yeah, if Scotland win, they will be one of the better placed third teams at least. In fact, that probably is where they'll finish third, but they'll be one of the better placed ones. So they need to win, and Hungary, of course, need to win to have any chance to be. That means they'll finish in third, and hopefully then they've got to pray that they're one of the better placed third teams. So that one is as we said. Now Group B, just to clarify, because I thought I'd just quickly have to take a break to quickly look at it because I kind of thought, I've forgotten this. But Spain top with 6 points. Yeah, won both their games. Really, really good. Haven't even conceded a goal yet. Italy on 3 points. They've won 1 and lost 1, haven't they? Of course, they lost to Spain. Yes, they lost to Spain, didn't they? And they beat Albania after going behind after 23 seconds or something, wasn't it? Which was amazing. And then Croatia are on 1 point. So Croatia playing Italy need to win, right? That will put them above Italy if they beat them. So yeah, big game, that Italy-Croatia actually. Italy do not want to lose, absolutely. And if they get a draw, they'll probably be all right. But it's going to be a good game, and Croatia have got to go for it. So maybe that's a game that we go, do you know what? A Croatia attacking player, or a Croatia attacking player probably is the one. Don't know who. Kramaric obviously scored the other day, didn't he? Modric hasn't really done much yet, but he is old, but he's on pens. Or maybe that's just stupid because Croatia haven't been good, have they? They've just not been great. So maybe that's a fool's errand. Anyway, right. So I'll go back to the groups as we go, the other group. So onto the Tuesday. So the first group to talk about is Group C, which is Netherlands. I think it's Group C, isn't it? It is Netherlands. No, it's Group D, actually, that goes first. So it's Netherlands, Austria, France, and Poland. So Netherlands versus Austria at 5 o'clock and France versus Poland at 5 o'clock. Now, the state of that group, if you're watching again on YouTube, you'll be able to see, but I'll read it out, is Netherlands top of the group, 4 points. Joint with France, 4 points. Austria are third with 3 points, and Poland bottom. And they are actually the first team, or they were the first team, I think they still are the first team and only team, to be completely eliminated from this tournament. It doesn't matter what they do in the third game now. They can't qualify, because even if they win against... Oh, gosh, I just said it. Even if they beat France, right, which is unlikely after their first 2 games, even if they beat France, they go to 3 points, but on the head-to-head record, they still wouldn't be third above Austria. So they're out, basically. Now, what needs to happen? So, look, Austria are playing... France basically want to win, need to win to finish top of the group, and they've got Poland. Poland have been rubbish. You expect France to win. Holland are playing Austria. They're going to want to win to finish top of the group as well, but also Austria are going to want to win to not be in that third position and not have the chance of going out and not being one of the best placed third teams. So basically, France need to win. Poland aren't doing anything, so get some France players, or some French players is a definite. And then the Netherlands-Austria game, both teams need to do well. So you can consider those players as well. They're not going to rotate massively, I don't think. Both are going to want to be playing strong teams. So for Group D, basically, can we back Group D? Yes, we can. Will Mbappe be back is the big question, isn't it? He was on the bench, obviously, in that second game after he broke his nose in the first game. Didn't come on, though. And there are kind of differing rumours, it seems. Some said there was last minute rumours he was going to start in that second game. Some are saying he's still not fit and he's not even going to play in the third game. I don't know, but we're not going to see the team, so it's going to be a risk either way. If you don't have him and he starts, you're going to be a bit annoyed, particularly if you're on Limitless and you could afford him. And if you get him and he doesn't play, it's going to be really annoying. I was annoyed because in match day 2, I thought Mbappe's not going to play, so I'll get Giroud, because I thought, Giroud would play instead. And then Giroud didn't start, although he did come on for like 25 minutes and no one did anything anyway, so it didn't make a difference. Anyway, so that's that. I will probably be looking to get a couple of Dutch players and a couple of French players. Which ones? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Theo Hernandez at France for that clean sheet, because Poland have been poor. And maybe I just have to get Mbappe. Or maybe you go Griezmann. Maybe you go Griezmann, who will definitely start, you'd think, and even if Mbappe doesn't, he's still there. I don't know. It's up for each individual to decide. Right, the next group is actually Group C. It goes, for some reason, Group D. Play their last games first. I don't know why. But Group C, Denmark, Serbia at 8 o'clock, and England, Slovenia at 8 o'clock. Now, we know this, don't we? But let's just get it up on the screen. So England are top with 4 points. We're going to want to win because we want to finish top of the group, right? Playing Slovenia, if Slovenia beat us, then they'd be above us. They'd be on 5 points and we'd be on 4. We've basically qualified. I mean, we have qualified. We're definitely through to the knockouts. But we are going to want to, particularly with Gareth Southgate and the team and everything that's being said about the setup and how Southgate's got it wrong, and it was so lackluster, wasn't it, against Denmark? In fact, Denmark probably deserved to win in the end with that late pressure. England are not going to massively rotate, but regardless, they might make some changes because the system doesn't seem to be working. For example, Phil Foden, is he going to start on the left when it's so clear it's not working? Will Gordon come in there? Trent? I don't think Trent's probably going to start in midfield again. That seems to be a kind of a test that hasn't worked. A trial period that just didn't work. So I imagine Conor Gallagher will come in there. I don't know. So there's different things that are going to happen. The players I think that we can say, we're pretty safe with. Harry Kane is not going to get dropped. Jude Bellingham is not going to get dropped. Jordan Pickford is not going to get dropped. And I think that will be my triple up. I get one of the defensive assets in case of a clean sheet. And we also get Bellingham and Kane, the kind of top two, really, attackers. And particularly on a Limitless, when you can afford them, I think that's the way I'm going to go for these England assets. We can back them because they need to win. They don't need to win, but they're going to want to win, and they're not going to rotate massively, I don't think. So those three, from England are the ones I'm going to get. But you could also consider, I think, Declan Rice, I mean, if you want him. Bukayo Saka, I imagine, isn't going to get rotated. I don't think the centre-back partnership of Gueye and Stones is going to change. I don't think Kyle Walker's going to get dropped. And it sounds like Trippier is going to continue at left-back because Luke Shaw's not fit and we've got no one else. So really, I think England are kind of just going to be the same. Maybe Gallagher will come in for Trent and maybe Gordon might come in for Foden. But other than that, I don't think so. Next game in this group, though, should we be backing? I mean, Slovenia, by the way, should you be getting anyone from Slovenia? Well, they've got Sesko, isn't it? Sesko's from Slovenia. I mean, they've got to win, right? So they're not going to be sitting back and just accepting that England are going to walk over, and they're going to be going for it because even a draw actually could see them squeeze through. I think maybe not. Maybe. But a win would definitely put them through. So they're going to be wanting to go for a win. They're going to be going for it. And, we can't just think England are just going to walk it. So maybe, actually, because Slovenia are going to be going for it, maybe we don't invest in the defensive assets for England. I don't know. Let's go to the next game. So the next game is Denmark-Serbia. Now, Denmark looked all right against us, didn't they? I mean, I think it was more a case of England being quite poor than Denmark being amazing. But Denmark are a tidy team. They sit second in the group at the moment, 2 draws. They are going to want to win again. They've got Serbia, but if Serbia beat them, then Serbia will go through. If Denmark beat them, Denmark will go through. So that's going to be a game where we can back any of those teams. Christian Eriksen, Joachim Mæhle, for Serbia, Mitrovic, Vlahovic. They're not going to get rested, so you can go for those teams and it's not going to be a problem. So, yeah, Group C looks interestingly poised. As I said, England are through. It's just, are we going to go through first or second? I think that's the question, and we want to go through first. can't actually remember what it means. I think if we finish first, basically we avoid Germany. I think that's what happens, which would be a good idea. I'd suggest, given our record against Germany. Although I know we beat them recently in a tournament, but our overall record against Germany, and also the fact Germany are playing brilliantly, and also the fact it's in Germany. I think there's enough reasons to avoid Germany. So let's try and do that, please, England. Let's move on to the Wednesday. So the Wednesday, we have, again, the last two groups finishing. It is Ukraine versus Belgium and Slovakia versus Romania, both at 5 o'clock, which is Group E. And then Group F, we've got Czechia versus Turkey and Georgia versus Portugal. So let's look at those groups, first of all. So the Group E, Romania currently... This is a very interesting group, because every single team has 3 points. Wow, I didn't realise that before I just looked at this. Wow, that's cool, isn't it? So Romania are on 3 points, top. Belgium are second on 3 points. Slovakia are third on 3 points. And Ukraine are fourth on 3 points. The goal difference is Ukraine at the bottom with -2 after they lost that first game 3-0 to Romania, didn't they? Slovakia with a goal difference of 0. And then Belgium and Romania with a goal difference of 1, both up at the top. So, gosh, what does this mean? It means everything's to play for, doesn't it? It means there's going to be no rotation. There's no team that can take their foot off the gas here. Let's, in fact, just have a look at the fixtures again. Yeah, so Ukraine, Belgium. Now, Ukraine, didn't they? They looked woeful against Romania in that first match. And they then won their second, actually. They went behind, didn't they? But then they won it. So who do we think? I mean, look, Belgium kind of clicked into gear a little bit. They won 2-0 in the game last night. Is this their moment to sort of really click into gear and finish top of the group, as many would have predicted before the tournament that they would? Who knows? But basically, we can say there isn't going to be rotation. I was really annoyed in matchday 2 because I had Trossard and he didn't even start. I thought he was nailed, but clearly that didn't happen. So yeah, but your De Bruyne's, Lukaku, Wout Fez, those typical sort of fantasy picks so far are going to be pretty safe. Tielemans scored the other day, didn't he, as well? So maybe he becomes an option. I don't know. He's not that much money. I think it's 7 million. Is he 6.5, 7 million? So yeah. So basically, yes, you can back these teams. There's not going to be much rotation. I wouldn't be backing Ukraine. I'm not convinced by Ukraine. I just don't think. Yeah, I just don't think they're going to beat Belgium. But hey ho. We've seen stranger things happen in this tournament, haven't we, already? And then Slovakia, Romania, I mean, choose your poison. Romania looked amazing that first game, didn't they? They lost their second game. Who do you pick from those two? I just don't know. I really don't know. But are they going to be rotating? No, they're not going to be resting players unless they have to or through injury. So yes, we can be backing them. And then the last group, of course, is Czechia. Well, Czechia versus Turkey. Georgia versus Portugal. Let's look at their group. So you've got Portugal top with 6 points. Now, I was cheering on Turkey yesterday because I wanted Turkey to get a draw or something so that Portugal had to go into that last game to win so that we could kind of be a bit more... It was a bit more predictable on who they were going to play. Now, Portugal become really tricky to pick from because not only are they on 6 points and guaranteed top position, they are on 6 points and... They don't play till 8 o'clock on the Wednesday. So even the substitution deadline, which is at 5 for that first game, you could be in a position where you get 3 Portugal players, say Cancelo, Bruno Fernandes, Ronaldo. You bring them on, and then 8 o'clock comes around, or 7 o'clock comes around after the subs deadline, and you realise none of them are starting, and they're on the pitch for you. So not only... Is it hard because they might rotate? It's hard because we're not going to see their teams before we can even bring them off the bench. If you were in a position where if it was a 5 o'clock game, which is obviously the substitution deadline for the days then, and you had Ronaldo and Bruno on your bench, and you saw they weren't starting, you might go, okay, I'll just leave them on the bench. But we're not going to be in that position. So Portugal have become super super tricky. A lot of people are saying Jota might start. Maybe Jota's a way to go. Kind of like Sane at Germany. He's kind of just outside that starting 11 and, he's going to get in. We know he can score goals. Maybe Jota is one we can go for. A lot of people are saying Inacio at the back might start, giving Pepe a rest, who's about 60 years old. Giving Pepe a rest, Inacio, maybe he's going to start. But again, we are guessing. No one has come out and said anything. So Portugal are going to be really, really tricky to pick from. But yeah, let's just look at the group. So Portugal on 6 points, Turkey on 3, Czech Republic on 1, Georgia on 1. Everyone can still qualify because Georgia, if they win, would go to 4 points, and that should be enough to put them through, you'd think. They're playing Portugal, though. Their hardest game of the group so far, and Portugal, who've obviously won both their games. Very, very tricky. If Georgia won that would go down in the ages sort of thing for Georgia anyway. And then Turkey, Czech Republic. That's a big game as well, because if Czech Republic win, they'll go above Turkey. If Turkey win, obviously they're definitely going to qualify. So everyone basically still needs to do something apart from Portugal, who will rest and rotate. So that's the tricky situation. As I said as well, watch out for these games in the 8 o'clock kickoffs, because they're the ones you have to be doubly sure on, because not only, as I said, are you guessing if players are going to start. If they don't, you will have moved them in before you saw the teams, and then they're stuck in your team. Particularly if it's the last day on the Wednesday, like Portuguese players. But if it's other days, I suppose you could sub them out. But yeah, so look, as you can see, it's pretty tricky. And this is one of the reservations I initially had about Matchday 3 Limitless, particularly, is we just have no clue. Right from every single fixture, apart from today's ones, Sunday's ones, Croatia, Italy, no idea if who's going to play, but, you'd hope that they're going to play the strongest teams. Albania, Spain, no idea who's going to play for Spain, who could get rotated. Is Morata going to start? No idea, right? No idea. Might get rotated. Netherlands, Austria, you'd think you could back that. France, Poland, you could back that. Denmark, Serbia, you could back that. England, Slovenia, you could back that in certain areas, as I mentioned earlier. Ukraine, Belgium, you could back that. Slovakia, Romania, you could back that if you want. I don't know who you'd pick there. Czechia, Turkey, you could back that. Arda Güler or Çalhanoğlu or any of those other kind of fancy assets. And then Georgia, Portugal, you can't really back Portugal, I don't think. It's a big risk. I mean, it's high risk, high reward on that one, because if you did go Cancelo, Bruno and Ronaldo, loads of people are not going to go for it. And then if they all started, you'd be laughing, right? But I imagine, it's the sort of game you can see Ronaldo being rested and Gonçalo Ramos getting a game, and Bruno being rested and Jota getting a game, and Cancelo being rested and Dalot coming in, and all that sort of thing. So don't be surprised. You have been warned. There you go. Right, look, thank you very much. I hope that's been helpful. I mean, I haven't really given any expert advice there. It's just a process, isn't it? It's an exercise to help us think what we need to be thinking as we approach Matchday 3. I'll be back again very soon with another video. Thank you very much, and please do like and subscribe to the stream, and see you in the next video.